Hi, everyone, and thank you for attending our presentation with Blue Yonder, Crawl, Walk, Run with ABM to $10 million in pipeline. We're really excited to share this story with you and dig into how Blue Yonder launched and is now evolving their ABM program. A couple of housekeeping items before we jump in. We will be answering a few questions at the end of the session. In the meantime, feel free to ask any questions via the chat box. Quick introductions here. I'll start. My name is Andrew Marr, and I am the Chief Customer Officer at Triblio. I've been here for about 5 years, so I've gotten to see hundreds of customers at this point launch their ABM programs. I am currently quarantining in Gaithersburg, Maryland, with my wife, 3 kids, and a few thousand honeybees. And my co-presenter today is Arlyn Knox, who I'll allow to introduce herself now.
Hi, everyone. Arlyn Knox. I'm the Vice President of Demand Generation at Blue Yonder. Blue Yonder recently went through a brand update, so you might know us as JDA Software. So very excited to be here with you today, Andrew. I appreciate it. I also am quarantined. I'm here in Fort Myers, Florida with my 2 kids, 2 boys, 5 and 3. So looking forward to it. Thanks for having me.
Yes, this is going to be great. For those of you who aren't familiar with Triblio yet, we are, just briefly, an account-based marketing platform that is built on an orchestration and targeting engine that allows us to find and engage your best fit accounts. And we do that through account-based advertising, website personalization, and something we call sales activation, which is queuing up the right actions for your sales team to the right accounts and the right people at the right time. We have... been around, like I said, since about 2015, and have been working with JDA now since early last year. And Blue Yonder. So Arlyn, can you get us started just introducing, as you did, who Blue Yonder is and tell us a little bit more about how you got started?
Absolutely. You're not the only one that confuses and still says JDA. So we just went through a rebrand in February of this year. So those of you might know JDA or any of our former acquisitions, maybe Manugistics, etc. We have gone through this rebrand and we are now Blue Yonders. We are very excited to be positioning as the world's leading supply chain platform. We are very excited to help all of our customers now more than ever. I don't think we've ever heard supply chain mentioned more than we have perhaps in the last 6-7 weeks going on with COVID. Here you'll see we help manufacturers, retailers, wholesale distributors, services organizations, and others around the globe get food, water, equipment to their end customers. Without Blue Yonder and without our platform, they would have difficulty predicting and preventing some potential supply chain disruptions. So we are here to effectively help our customers through this time, to ensure that they know that we are their partner and their trusted source and advisor, to ensure that, again, like I said, the water and the food is getting where it needs to. So thank you for having me, and I appreciate it. Looking forward to talking about our journey with you.
Yeah, and like you said, doing really, really important work right now, and work that's really felt by everyone who's watching. Tell us about ABM at Blue Yonder in 2019, the goals you set, how you implemented your program, and just the results you saw out of that first year's worth of efforts.
Absolutely. So, we sort of set out on this ABM plan a couple of years ago, and it has certainly evolved. I would say 2019 was sort of the year we grew up. We sort of realized that we had some major challenges that we needed to solve. We were able to start to identify some hard and soft metrics. I think the biggest issues that we were able to identify as these are the items we need to tackle would be sort of resources, technology, and OKRs. So objectives and key results. Resources, I think we're finding, and everyone in the audience probably agrees, that a highly dedicated ABM path takes a lot of energy, time, headcount, budget in order to do it effectively. We are continuously chasing after the right headcount, chasing after the right folks that can help us lead us down that ABM path with new hires and building the team, both here in North America and globally. My counterparts in EMEA and others have set up entire integrated demand units trying to tackle this ABM issue. Technology is a huge issue for us. So where in our marketing stack do we need to make an upgrade? Where can we help ensure that we're getting the right visibility across our accounts, or the right platform to serve a targeted ad, or whatever it might be to help play in that particular order on sort of an ABM orchestration at an account? We're finding, listen, OKRs are really hard to prove out. We wanted to make sure that we could tie both primary campaign source directly, attributed to marketing from these efforts, as well as, some other soft metrics, right? So where are we maybe cleaning up a database or cleaning up an account, adding certain contacts? Where are we seeing better alignment that we hadn't had in the past? So sales and marketing really truly coordinated in this effort together is certainly a soft metric that we've seen, and we didn't want to necessarily discount that. So we spent a lot of time building the right teams, the right plays, looking after the right accounts. Some accounts weren't necessarily the right accounts. And we tried and we tested a lot of things. I mentioned briefly our technology stack. I'm going to dive into this a little bit here on this slide. Here you can see we are trying to understand sort of at the bottom, where are we touching all of these accounts and what does the analysis look like throughout the funnel or the stage? So as you sort of work yourself from the left to the right, we're utilizing a lot of buyer's intent information and signals, whether it's from Bombora, Software Advice, Capterra, whatever, Google, keywords, searching. We're trying to understand who is interested in us. Do we know who they are or not? Do we need to maybe backfill some of that data and acquire it from ZoomInfo or other places? Where can we connect with these folks in our funnel? So Marketo, sending our email nurturers, Drift chatting with them on our website, or Triblio serving dedicated ads. Just Sitecore, other areas that we're able to utilize our website to be able to engage and connect with those existing prospects, customers. Coveo, being able to serve up the right information at the right time, utilizing Sitecore. Kind of working all the way through that journey with things like dedicated videos, maybe from Vidyard, and then understanding, okay, where are we with this person? Has their lead score maybe approached a time where it's right for sales to pick up the phone and give them a call? And ideally, the end goal is to understand, are these accounts engaging with us? Are they the right contacts within that account? And hopefully the end goal would be to create some opportunities. So I sort of briefly went over Triblio, but that's certainly an ad platform where we are speaking directly to some of our prospects and customers. I can kind of share a little bit last year what we did and try to engage with some of these various accounts, but we created a pretty targeted strategy with a select group of customers, a select group of accounts and prospects that we wanted to go after with sort of a solution in mind. So we knew, for example, that these accounts, we wanted to try and generate opportunities within this solution area. You'll see we were able to drive some pretty great results within those specific products or solutions that we were trying to target, but also across the rest of our product suite. So we're certainly an end-to-end supply chain platform, and while we perhaps maybe wanted to talk to them about our control tower offering in a fun way with Elvis, we might not necessarily have created a control tower opportunity, but maybe we did in transportation or warehouse. So you'll see that we were tracking both solution pipeline and other pipeline. And across the year, we were able to see close to $10 million generated in pipeline from various ads that we were targeting these specific accounts with. So we had an ongoing, digital ad platform serving them ads. We utilized other social media platforms, but here within Triblio, we were able to say to this account, we want this specific message, and we were able to see these specific results. And that for us was a key part of our strategy. I think we were able to utilize some insights. Here's a perfect example of a global shoe retailer where, for example, we had zero engagement with, right? That's a lot of white space there. And then we started to utilize a platform like Triblio to serve these ads and start to engage with these folks. And sure enough, we were able to create an opportunity. So this is just one example of where we were able to say, listen, this is directly being able to tie to some of the efforts that we have ongoing, not just with serving them ads, but truly an integrated campaign plan with direct mailers, sales targeting, seeing them at live shows, etc. And then sort of the last sort of piece of the pie that we just started testing last year, and we have a long way to go, would be personalization. So serving the right information to a grocer, for example, when they came to our website, and saying that this person is at the right time of our funnel to get this piece of content to try and engage with this conversation. So, last year was kind of a year of learnings, and we got a lot of room to improve. And I think we know that. We're not afraid to call our baby ugly. We got a lot of areas we want to work on, but that sort of gives you an overview of where we've been.
Yeah, and that's fantastic. I think it was so important and helpful that you knew going into all these campaigns, both that you were going to try a lot of things and knowing what you wanted to measure. So that direct measurement of, okay, are the campaigns we're running creating and influencing opportunities that are specific to that product, but are they also helping to trigger and maybe influence other cross-sell or other product opportunities, and looking at both sets of those results distinctly and being able to communicate the wins internally was huge, and great planning and kind of foresight on your part to be monitoring both of those things. So I know that this was a great year, 10 million in pipeline as you launched, but you're not resting on your laurels. You went into 2020 with aggressive plans and a lot of things you wanted to do. So tell us a little bit about this year, where you're planning to go with your ABM journey and what the start of the year looked like for you.
Absolutely. So the start of the year was certainly exciting with a rebrand. Launching a rebrand, understanding that we were able to finally build some dedicated resources and get the right structure in place, both from a budget and a headcount perspective, and also just generating a lot of out-of-the-box ideas and sort of reimagining what this could look like. And I think we got to a point where we were starting to speak very specifically within the account and able to create some really fun and engaging plays. This is an example of a food and beverage manufacturer here in North America. And while we just have started to launch these, we've seen some really good early metrics. So we're certainly just trying to identify, have we seen an improvement or an engagement within specific target titles? For us, a CEO and a CTO have responded. That's great. Where we might not have had any engagement with them in the past, we're seeing that they are responding. I think in general, what I'm most excited about this is, again, that alignment, sales and marketing in a coordinated effort, putting out the right message, right time, right person, and really seeing that increase and that uptick. So these are examples about where I think we are going and where we will continue to go this year. Another softline retailer example here. Again, a great out of the box. We weren't necessarily speaking this way with highly targeted ads that we can serve them, a really targeted play to try and drive a meeting on site or, now a meeting virtually. But you see that we're still having to tailor and target and change on a dime. I mean, the world totally changed on us almost right when we launched some of these efforts here. So ensuring that we were constantly reminded that things are going to change and we're going to have to pivot real fast, and making sure that we had a team that was able to do that is proving to be a challenge that we're already seeing here in 2020. One other example I'll share with you here, this is another, what we're calling industry marketing, or IBM, industry-based marketing example. The food and beverage industry. This is where we are trying to target a tailored solution to kind of that one-to-few example. So we're not just taking that one-to-one. We do have some of these one-to-few. We do have some of these industry-based campaign plans, eventually persona-based. That's an area that we'll try and improve upon this year. So while we still have very early metrics here and not much in terms of pipeline to share yet, we are excited that these sort of out-of-the-box ideas and targeted efforts along with sales will help to prove that we are on the right track. But we're ready to adjust and adapt as we start to see some of these results, and we'll do that over the next couple of months.
Yeah, and as you said, the beginning of the year has proven interesting. All marketers are now making these adjustments, and that certainly applied to you all as well at Blue Yonder. So what have those adjustments been? How are you marketing during COVID-19 that's different?
Geez, so, it's fortunate and unfortunate that we wanted to completely rebrand the company at the start of the year, and then we sort of faced this global epidemic. So we had to quickly pivot where we were going to put a lot of our energy and effort to get this new brand out there. So we have created, targeted branding efforts, whether it's content or just ad serving, across various outlets. We've just started with Wall Street, Financial Times. We've got targeted ads on places like Triblio, utilizing social media and others. Excited to finally open up the Wall Street Journal a couple of Mondays ago and see a Blue Yonder ad. That is the type of stuff that we're putting out there, along with a completely rebranded website. Talking specifically to those various personas I mentioned, being able to do highly personalized and specific engagement on our website, integrating things like, chatbots and utilizing some AI-driven metrics to try and improve our marketing strategy. These are all things that we quickly were going to put in market, but had to adjust and put a new flair on it. So our messaging needed to evolve, right? To be one of empathy and resiliency and the power of now. And we are here to help our customers with their supply chain needs, help them predict and prevent disruptions, help them understand if that case of water or that case of chicken isn't going to get to their grocer or to their convenience store, how we can help. So for us, it was a matter of, again, staying agile, staying nimble, being ready to pivot on a dime. Just like SiriusDecisions is facing and we're all facing right now, we had a huge customer conference. It's happening to conflict right now with SiriusDecisions. So yesterday and today, we've brought together thousands of people across the supply chain to connect with us at ICON, our annual conference. We decided to open it up and make it free and try to drive a lot of engagement and networking amongst this community. So they really felt like they had a cohort that they could go to with these challenges and connect in real time to try and solve some of these issues. Putting together a lot of different types of webinars and formats, whether it's a longer sort of digital ongoing webinar series, like an Open for Business series, or just a fun, hey, cocktails and conversation with us over category management. We used to have coffee. We moved it to cocktails pretty quick. I think we all did. But these are just some examples that we put out in market to try and, again, show our customers that we're here to help them. I think free is a term that we've sort of adapted. We needed to be here for our customers, and it wasn't necessarily a time for us to try and drive hard sales. So we wanted to just get this conversation out there, get the message out there, be there for our customers, and even put together free offers. So free offers of our actual products and services to help our customers with these specific COVID challenges. And that's where we've seen a lot of our community coming together and understanding that we can help and we're all in this together. And Blue Yonder certainly playing a part in that is exciting. So that's a good question, and I appreciate you asking.
Yeah, and I will have some other Q&A here at the end, but just kind of looking back on the stories you've covered here, what would be kind of at the top your 3 takeaways for others who are looking to undergo a similar effort, get ABM started and develop a program like you have?
So I think if I look back at, the last couple of years and where we have to go, I'll say it again, but test and test and retest. Something may or may not work. We need to quickly pivot. The world might crumble at our fingertips. We need to quickly pivot. Things are going to continue to change for all of us. And the more we can understand that we have to be agile, we sort of preach an agile supply chain. I'm sort of saying we need an agile ABM supply chain, if you will. And it's going to take a village. All of us need to come together in a COVID-safe environment, 6 feet apart, right? Washing our hands for 20 seconds. But I would say test, be there for each other. Let's learn from each other. And at the end of the day, be ready to adapt, be ready to change. And let's all understand what's working and what's not and really take that pivot together.
Right. I think, something you alluded to earlier as well, is just that, the things with COVID were breaking at very much the same time that you were launching the new brand. And something that you and I talked about a few weeks ago is that, it's inconvenient in a way. You were hoping to have kind of a clean canvas to work on, I'm sure, releasing your brand and not competing with other news for that. But on the other hand, with, your brand being able to stand for something and take a clear stance, this has been an ideal time to be putting your message into the market about what Blue Yonder stands for, how you want your customers to think of you, and your relationship with them. So when most, I think, practitioners are thinking about account-based marketing, that's more tightly associated with demand gen priorities. How are we building pipeline, feeding sales? How is account-based marketing, though, helping you just as you think about building your brand during this time? How does ABM tactics, I guess, play into that brand amplification?
I mean, that's a great question. Even as we were putting together our overarching rebrand strategy and how we were going to launch this new brand, we had the ABM component in mind. So when we were creating everything from the logo to the ads to where we wanted to go, whether it was television or even our golf pro, John Rahm, who represents our brand, we were constantly thinking a wide audience and very down to a specific audience. So utilizing what we had at our fingertips and understanding that in ABM there needed to be a specific play. So we even mocked up ideations of what these ads would look like down to the specific account level. And now we're getting those out and launching them. But we certainly needed to make sure that ABM was a key play on that. I think COVID almost even pushed us even further, since we weren't necessarily going to be meeting in mass crowds anymore and able to shake a bunch of hands all at one time. We needed to get very targeted and very specific and on the personal one-to-one level. And that's certainly what ABM has done for us.
Right. Okay, some of the questions that we're seeing. So this is a common one, and I'm interested to hear your take on it. As you get account-based marketing going, I'm sure, traditional like inbound lead gen, that still has an approach or has some value. How are you going to keep both of those go-to-market approaches going at the same time? And where do you see, the emphasis going over the next couple of years?
I mean, geez, that's the never-ending challenge. How do we fish with nets and fish with spears at the same time? And we have to. So I think in general, my team, the demand gen team, is continuing to understand that we have to face and help our thousands of customers across the globe. And we're going to continue to do that in the large scale environments that come with a true demand gen lead tactic campaign plan. And a portion of that is going to have to be ABM, and that one-on-one or one-to-few or one-to-industry technique. So I think ensuring that we continue to cross-train across all of us, to hire the right folks that can take this message down to that level, invest in the right technology strategies, get all of those back-end technologies communicating together, improving each other, almost automating that process for us. We talk to our customers about building an autonomous supply chain. Well, we need to do the same thing with our ABM strategy and allow all of these various components to work on top of and to improve each other. And so that we understand exactly where our conversations need to go with various prospects and accounts to get to that end goal. And that end goal is to truly help the customer. So help our customer, help their customers. So, in terms of specifics, it's ensuring we have, again, the right headcounts, the right technology stack, and a constant effort to improve, educate our team, innovate. Attending conferences like this is certainly one area to do that.
Yeah, and I think we're seeing a lot of acceleration during this time of things that were somewhat already underway, with the need to really master those digital tactics, speak more directly to accounts. So there's, all the shifting, pivoting, I think, is not just a temporary thing, but something that is probably just accelerating trends that were underway, at least in some cases. It looks like we have time probably for one last question. I think this is one that a lot of the audience here would be curious about. I know that you've been able to now start expanding from the U.S. into other geographies like Europe with account-based. What has that been like? Is there anything you would give people a heads up about to anticipate as they expand into multiple kind of theaters with their account-based marketing program?
I think it's certainly a challenge. And for us, it's all about learning from each other and ensuring that we take those efficiencies and continue to feed them back across the globe. So we're starting to see that, various regions are picking up on different tactics in different ways. Various regions have different complexities like GDPR and other compliance issues that are coming up. For us, we have things like, cadence calls, ongoing conversations on this is working in a specific account. Have you tried this? Have you tried that? There's a new dashboard I built that gave me a new look or an insight into this. So I think just that mind share of constantly ensuring that those teams are as aligned as possible and continue to build and improve upon. And even understand that if a structure is working over here, maybe we modify it with a slight tweak over here and see if we can increase and improve, rates or ideation over here as well. So for us, it's trying to be as continuously collaborative as possible. It's trying to align and understand directions that are working, and again, testing and utilizing this village that we have. It's going to be a challenge. It will continue to be a challenge. We have various collaboration efforts underway, and that's certainly going to be an area that I'm focused on, as well as the rest of our global marketing team.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Arlyn, for pulling together these insights to share with the audience today. It's been a privilege from you. Yeah, just learning from you and your team over the last year and getting to see some of these things come to life and being there with you. Testing things and learning has been great. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And appreciate your attention, and look forward to hopefully meeting some of you after this. Bye.
Absolutely. Bye, everyone.